we want to make sure you all are not in your quilts in the winters. Yes, I can see Dheeraj on video. Morning, Abhinav, Mayank, fantastic. Muskan, let's get on video. Akshat, let's get on video. Charvi, video. Yes, Hemang, Yash, Pratyush, Apurv. I'm going to take your names. Friends, a very good morning. Let's have your videos on. Say hello. We are not getting to meet each other. If it was not COVID, we would have been right on your campus talking to all of you. So let's say hi. Let's get to know each other at least by saying a good hello. Can I have a hello? Can I have a thumbs up? Are you doing good this morning? How is it happening? How's everything this morning? Good? Yes? You all can type it on chat if required. How is it happening? Are you excited about this training session which Sanjay Sir has organized for all of you? You can type it on chat if you want, if you're thrilled, if you're excited, or are you all bored of Zoom sessions? Are you all bored of Zoom sessions? पता नहीं कितने sessions रख दिए जाते हैं Zoom पे. Is it? College keeps sending us, oh, you have to come and join this lecture. You have to come and join this lecture. What's happening? Good morning. Very excited. Mayank says he is excited. Fantastic, Mayank. Yes. What about rest? Except Mayank is excited about this training, which is organized by your university. What about rest of you? What about rest of you? What about Ramneek? What about Aarti? Are you excited? I want to see messages on chat. I want to see that excitement on chat. I want you to type yes if you're excited. If you're not, type no. Yes? Can I see all these 70 yes? All right, fantastic. Aditi says yes. Abhinav says yes. Akash says yes. Good morning, very excited. That's good. That's like Jaypee students. Fantastic. I have a namesake, Surbi Kumari. Yes. So this is the time I should introduce myself. I am Surbi Devra, founder of Career Guide. And along with me, there'll be two more colleagues of mine, Nibha. Let me ask Nibha to say hello to all of you. Yes, Nibha, that's Nibha for all of you.
Hi,
and
everyone.
we also have Pranav joining in us for talking about something very interesting. Yes, thanks, Nibha. We'll get to listen to Nibha too today. Friends, do you know what is today's session all about? Is it about the typical academics? Is it about subjects? Do you know what is this session all about? Can anybody tell me what is the session about? By the way, if you want to speak on video, I would want you to raise your hand so that we can give you access to speak. I would want all of you to keep this session interactive. Let's speak, let's interact. More we're going to speak, more we're going to interact, more we're going to benefit. So, can I understand? I believe all of you are final year BTech students. Am I right? Final year BTech students? Third year. Okay, third year. Fantastic. Third year BTech students. Okay, all right. All right. And you all from different disciplines. Some would be from computers, some would be from mechanical, some would be from electronics, electrical, and so on. All right. We have somebody from second year also. Fantastic. BBA second year. Okay. MBA also is there. Great. It's a mix. All right. So it's a mixed audience. Good. So BTech, MBA, BBA, MBA final year, is it? First year. All right. All right. All right. And do you know what is the session all about? Do you have any idea what is the session all about? Any one of you? Do you want to come on audio? Mayan can tell what this session is about. Fantastic. So, Mayank, you have rights to speak. You can speak. Is it Mayank Sharma?
Yeah.
It's
So
Mayank
am I
Yadav.
audible?
Yes, Mayank. And
Yes.
if you can switch on your video, you can, if your bandwidth permits.
Yeah.
All
Good
right.
morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, my friends. So it's a great session. This session is all about to understand the basic criteria or the conditions and the situation which can makes us to decide that what exactly we want to learn or live our life in future. This is something which we want to live for the rest of our life.
Okay, so Mayank says this session is about finding out what is our life, how do we want to live our life in future. Fantastic, Mayank. Anybody who wants to come again and talk about it? Anyone else has an opinion? No? All right, all right. So Mayank is right. I think a big hand, big claps for Mayank. Yes, Mayank, this is the session to help you think about your future roadmap, your uh, how should you be planning your career? How should you be looking towards why you are studying and how you should be taking all the best decisions? Anybody else who wants to speak something? All right, perfect then. Niba, I don't know why spotlight on you. Uh, all right. Can you stop your video for a while, Niba? All right. I don't know. Spotlight has gone to you. Perfect. So let me share the screen. Okay, we thought let's call this more like a placement thing, but yes, we will consider this more like a life grooming session. This next 3 hours, I would want all you to be super easy. Keep everything out of your head. Do not think that we're going to give you some gyan. Uh, do not think the gyan will be a very heavy gyan. Don't think that. We will keep it very casual, very casual. Also, I would want all of you, my dear friends, take up a pen and paper, write down questions which are coming in your mind. It could be simple question, it could be question which your friends knows answers about, but you seem lost, whatever it could be. But write it down. My goal, my colleague's goal in next 3 hours would be that we help you identify yourself. We help you explore yourself and we give some direction to your path, your dreams, your ambitions after this 3 hours. Consider me and my colleague as your friend. Uh, consider me and my, yeah, consider me, sorry. Consider us as your friends. Consider us like any of your seniors with whom you can sip tea and have discussion about your life. So this is my request to all of you before we begin. So why did you all choose engineering, BBA, MBA? Because was that the parents told you all to do it? Was it that way? Tell me, or was there some specific reason for all of you to choose it? I want all of your fingertips on chat. Tell me, what's been your reason and choice for choosing what it is? Usually it says, the parent says, you can be anything you want as long as you want to become doctor or engineer. We have people from BBA also here. So means their parents have been more liberal with them. Yes, right? So are you all happy with your choice of subjects, choice of your course? Are you all happy with it? Or once you got in it, you started feeling not sure why I did this. So Kaunan says, no, fantastic. That's honest. Very nice, Kaunan. It takes lots of energy to say no to something in front of your batchmates. Wow, fantastic. I want to be a successful entrepreneur, so I choose MBA. Fantastic, Hemchand. Great. We'll talk about it. So, most of you are saying that yes, I'm pretty much happy with what I have taken up. So, but I've got close to 10 response. So, I'm assuming the rest 60 of you not sure. We so in this seminar, we'll be breaking in couple of divisions. We will help you understand how should you think about once you are done with your graduation or once you are done with your final year. We all have two directions. Even when I was in college, I had this direction. We have this direction of now, can I go for higher education or should I go for job? Yes, this is the question which runs it. When you're in final year, you have two thoughts. Is it higher education? Is it job? Can one of you tell me or type on chat or come on audio what decides should you go for job or you should go for higher education? I'll give you a formula after you answer. How should you decide, is it higher education for me or is it job for me? So Hemant said MBA was for him because he wants to become a successful entrepreneur. Okay, so that was his decision. So I want to hear from one of you, and please come on, speak, participate. Come on, come on. How do you decide, is it higher education or is it job? Why is it some people after graduation they get into higher education and some people get into job? I went to a job after my college. I didn't go for higher education. I went for a job. Can somebody come on? Come on. Mayank, yes, you can answer. Sure, Mayank, let me put spotlight on you. Yes, Mayank.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So, ma'am, there are multiple reasons which decide that what particular person wants to have in his or her life, whether it's a higher education or a job. But they are personal reasons, they are professional reasons. But what I think, when a person enjoys his or her studies and wants to do more in that, then person chooses higher education for his or her life. But when a person thinks that now it's enough for him to study, and now she wants to implement something and earn something, then a person goes into a job or the brains in that way.
Agree. Fantastic. Mayank gets another clap. Is that only Mayank in the entire set who's replying? So I have an answer from Manav. Willingness to study more or get hands on experience of working in the real world. Yes, fantastic. Right, absolutely right. Manav, Mayank, and all of you in whose mind this is running. Absolutely right. So there are higher education options. Uh, if you are into technical field, you will be doing masters, MS, or MTech. If you are in BBA, you will end up doing MBA. If you are, whatever field you are to take, have taken up graduation, you can go ahead and take up creative careers. A lot of careers these days can be picked up by anybody. You can take up diploma program, certification program, and there's an option of PhD also. And if you think about job options, then yes, through campus, through off campus, government jobs, jobs like civil services, you can pick. Right. As mentioned by Manav and Mayank, the decision is purely based on need and purpose. Yes, your decision of higher education, especially, should not be based because my God, I didn't get a job. This year it was COVID, and the companies are not recruiting, we are not going to college, and hence, best thing, maybe let me go and take up a high another program. That's more like escaping. Yes, that's absolutely like escaping, right? Your reasons to go for a job should be financial assistance, as mentioned by Manav and Mayank, should be that you want to take a break from studies and you want to be financially independent, and you think that I want to learn industry experience, I want to be better equipped to go for higher education once I gain some industry experience. And once you gain some industry experience, you know I'm going to learn and then I go back to studies, I will gain more. This should be good enough reason to go for job. And the reasons for preparing for government job, I'll take a pause here, friends. There's a whole criteria. I have to go for government jobs, I have to apply for government job. My father said government job is stability. My father said there's nothing better like government job, you get so many things and all. And that's why I'll go and sit for SBI PO. That's why I'll sit for all the banking exam. That's why I'll sit for all the government exams. And I like that लाल बत्ती वाली गाड़ी है ना, तो इसलिए मैं सिविल सर्विस दूंगा. मुझे अच्छा लगता है, सल्यूट मारते हैं वॉचमैन, तब तो मैं पुलिस अफसर की यूनिफॉर्म पहनूंगा. मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा, सलमान खान वाज इन दबंग वेयरिंग दैट यूनिफॉर्म. आई वांट टू बिकम एन IPS. This is not how you take a decision, friends. This is not how you should be thinking about getting into a government job, especially UPSC and civil services. Your reason should be very, very clear. And my dear friends, your reason should not be because I heard from my relatives and family this is prestige. No, it should not be that. My suggestion to all of you would be, why don't you keep a small diary with you? Whatever thoughts which comes in your mind, which is related to your career, write down in that. If not diary, you can always keep a phone memo also and write in that phone memo. Yes, take this cheat code from me, take this hack from me. If you want, take your phone, make a small note, nobody will read it. And during this age, you will have a lot of ideas. Let me go abroad. Oh, I heard this person doing this. Hey, I want to earn so much. Oh, I want to have so much money that I can buy that lovely purse. That's how, or I can buy that designer wear. These are very natural and normal thoughts. There's nothing wrong about it. But what happens is that we keep getting these thoughts on a daily basis, and we keep getting very different thoughts on daily basis. Even we lose track of it, of these thoughts. We get so inspired one day with something. We saw an Instagram post, we get inspired. The other day we saw a friend, in that fancy car, we get inspired. I want you to write all those inspiration, I want you to write all those thoughts in a memo, in a diary. Because what happens is that when you write your thoughts in one place, you can see them, you can read them. And once you read them after 1 month, after 2 months, after 3 months, you actually realize what's more important to you. It helps you think better. Do try doing this, all of you, and do come back to me and tell me, did this help you or not? Will you all do it? Type in yes if you will do this. Type in yes. Yes, we will try doing this, writing down our career thoughts and our career plan. Yes, yes, yes. Do this. You will see the difference in your own thoughts. You will see that that memo will act as your own career counselor. Fantastic, Garima. Very good, very good. So, yes, your reason to get into civil services should be actually truly about bringing about the change. That's true. These exams and these jobs comes with recognitions and pride, but family forcing in it should not be the reason. Life will become difficult in that case. It should be you who should have that inspiration. It should be very important if you're getting into those competitive exam route, those government jobs, UPSC route. It should be your dream, not because somebody has pushed it. There should be an inner calling. Yes, I want to do this. I have a reason to do this. And when you have that inner calling, that's when even the lows and highs you will be able to sail through. If you're not able to do that, then you won't be able to sail through lows and highs. What if you don't clear through the exam? Think there's a possibility. You will just get into depression. And hence, but if it's in your inner calling, you will be able to rise above all the tides. Just a minute. Are we good till here, friends? Are we good? Are we good? Show me a thumbs up if we are good. Okay, I just got one thumbs up. I just got three thumbs up. Everybody is sleeping. Is it? Is it? Okay. Mm, all right. So, it's turning out to be boring. Lot of gyan. We keep hearing. Somebody must be thinking, we keep hearing this every day. It's the same gyan Surbi is also giving. No, listen to us for next another 2.5 hours. You will find this transformational. You will find something new, provided you listen, you make a note of your question, and towards the end, we will answer your questions. If you have some questions, even right now, you can type it on the chat and we'll pick it during the course of our conversation. So we saw reason for getting into jobs and government jobs. Now, reasons for getting into higher education, definitely because you want to become an expert into a particular field. You want to get deep inside that field, then yes, you get into higher education. There's always a possibility first graduation, then go to job, and then go to higher education. That route is also available, absolutely available. The reasons, some people say, I don't want to start work just yet, and my family is financially stable. Many times, family thinks that once kids will start earning now, they won't be able to study. That's not really true. Actually, that's not true. कहते हैं ना, उसको पैसों का चस्का लग जाएगा, फिर पढ़ नहीं पाएगा. If you plan to pursue research, yes, look for higher education. If you have business interest, we saw one of our colleagues, one of our friends showing that, who took up MBA. I think it was Hemant. Yes, this is also a very important reason. Settling abroad or immigration is one of the very, very popular reason to get into higher education. One of the easiest way to settle to a different country is to go study in that country. You can call it a shortcut for immigration. It's the easiest way because most of the countries, if you study in that particular country, you get work visa, you get opportunity to hunt for job, and because you have stayed there, you have studied there, it's easy for you to find job, get into that culture. So this is definitely a very important reason for studying abroad. And it's okay, you do graduation, take a break, go for job, and then go for higher education. Yes, lot many times people study because they want to change career sectors. For example, many of you have taken BTech, let's say, and I took BTech because everybody said BTech should be done, and hence I took BTech. but now it doesn't look like technology is something I want to do. In that case, also, it's a good option to go ahead and change route. So one of the popular route for doing this is taking MBA. So in a way, okay, I don't want to do technology, I can get into another field. So yes, changing career sector is a very good reason for higher education. Something which is not good reasons to go for higher education, thinking that, friends, listen to this slide, read this slide. I want to, these three reasons should not be your reason for going for higher education. If I get into higher education, I'll get more salary. I did not get job, I'll get more salary. I like collecting degrees, and hence I should go for higher education. That's not good a reason. I'll take up a pause. I'll wait for one question, at least one question here before I begin. Yes, one question, friends. Come on, you're 80 of you. Put forth one question till the things which we have covered or anything which is coming in your mind. Yes, JB universities, come forward. Ask me one question. Ask me any question. One of you, Isha, Janki, Kamlesh, Kanishka, Kartike, Hemchand, Muskan, Vivek, Ramneek, come ahead. One question, anyone? Or have you guys, switched off the video and slept? Have you done that? Have you done that? No, yes, no, no videos, nothing. All right, fantastic. I got a question from Nikunj. Why opting for a higher degree for a better job prospect is a bad option? Uh, Nikunj, are you on video? I like to. Okay, if possible, you can come on video audio. Okay, Nikunj, no, I never said that opting for higher degree for a better job prospect is a bad option. It is not. But disclaimer is that higher education is not a guarantee for a better job prospect. It's your skills which is the guarantee of a better job prospect. It's not the higher education which is the guarantee. What I mean is, just because you think that I'll get a higher salary and that's why you get into higher education, that's a myth. If you say that, so if you have a bad skills in graduation, you won't be able to really improve a lot even in higher education. So you need to gauge yourself and then go ahead. It's a myth that if I get a higher education, I'll get a better job. No, that's a myth. That's what I was trying to say. Right? Did I answer you, Nikunj? Say yes or no. On chat, maybe. Fantastic. Thanks, Nikunj. So, Manav has another question. Is pursuing higher education the only way forward when looking for what to change sector? That's a fantastic question, Manav. For example, shifting from tech to non-tech role. That's a very, very good question. Nikunj, Manav, actually, no. The another alternate way for moving from tech to non-tech or shifting career option is gaining relevant work experience. That's called internships. If you go ahead, pick internships, let's say you're in tech and you want to get into non-tech and you go to a company and you say, hey, I don't know this. I want to learn this. I'm going to do this. You want to pay me? Fine. You don't want to pay me? Fine. Teach me. We will be touching upon internships. So internships is another way for shifting from tech to non-tech or shifting career options, career sector. Manav, I hope I've answered your question. Let's. Did I answer your question, Manav? All right. Perfect. Perfect. Keep thinking about your questions and we will take them one by one. All right. So, whatever your decisions are, always do a ROI calculation. ROI is return on investment. That's very, very important. So, for example, okay, I'll share this story, an example to you, how these decisions are made. So a cousin of mine gave me a call just when we entered COVID around March, April. He's been working in Gurgaon in one of the MNCs. And he had also given me a call before COVID 6, 7 months back. And he said that he has applied in one of the high profile college for one of the fellowship program. Great. At that time, I said, why not? Go ahead, do it. Looks good. Go sit, apply for it. It's fantastic program. It's meant for working professionals. So he got his results for that entrance or that interview just around March, April. Now, something which I told 6 months back, I was like, are you sure you want to quit your job now? Are you sure you want to take admission in the same high profile uh, course which I was talking about? And I asked him because the classes would not happen online. The classes would not happen the way it should happen. And it was supposed to be 7, 8, 12 months program. And COVID would not be ending anything less than 12 months, right? So where's the question of ROI there? And there's a possibility that if he was spending 15 lakhs into that program, the ROI would not be possible because there would not be enough companies lining down to recruit new set of students. So my suggestion to him was that even if he's very smart, market condition, he told me, I can get a job. I know how to get a job. So I was like, it's not about you can't get a job or you don't know how to get a job. It's about is market ready to give you the kind of job you want. So hence maybe it's better idea pause for a while, defer your intake, continue with your job, not to make that investment of 15 lakh for 8 months because we are still between pandemic. So this is the kind of calculation. Something which was okay 7 months back was not okay after 7 months back, after 7 months later. So it's very important to do that ROI calculation because ROI was not working out and to look at the market situation also when you are getting it. For many, higher education could be a right option during pandemic because that could be the best way to utilize time also. So something like this is very, very personalized, very unique. इसका कोई right and wrong answer नहीं है. आपकी क्या सिचुएशन है, आपके क्या ड्रीम्स हैं, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. आपके क्या फ्यूचर प्लान्स हैं, ये सब बहुत 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 ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं. इनफैक्ट जो मानव आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा उसका अदर ऑल्टरनेटिव भी है जो बता रही थी पार्ट टाइम मास्टर्स कर सकते हो, डिस्टेंस कर सकते हो, कुछ कंपनीज आपको सपोर्ट भी करती है प्रोग्राम्स के लिए, मास्टर्स के लिए. यस, सो वो आप कर सकते हो. हियर आर वी गुड? आर वी गुड? I'll take up a pause before I move to our next segment. That's purely on job. Right now, we spoke all about higher education. Neba, if you want, you can also summarize some of the points for students here on the chat. If whatever your points which you feel is important for them to read through. So we talked all about higher education. Now we will be moving towards finding job. Some small hacks to all of you, which we will give on finding jobs. All right. Have your questions ready because we are here to answer your questions. Yes, placements and job hunt is the very important thing. In fact, हम 10th करते हैं और सब हमसे कहते हैं एक बार 10th बोर्ड दे दो, सब कुछ आगे ठीक हो जाएगा. फिर हम 12th बोर्ड करते हैं, एक बार 12th बोर्ड कर दो, लाइफ सेट है. वी गेट इनटू कॉलेज, एक बार राइट CGPA बना लो, लाइफ सेट है. एंड देन इट कम्स फाइनल ईयर, गेट अ गुड जॉब, लाइफ सेट है, उसके बाद कुछ नहीं सोचना. टू टेल यू सीक्रेट, स्कूल कॉलेज तक लाइफ ठीक है, जॉब मिलने के बाद लाइफ और हेक्टिक हो जाती है, एंड योर एम्बिशन एंड एस्पिरेशन ज्यादा बढ़ जाते हैं. अच्छा, I'm getting this salary, let me work towards another salary, let me work towards this promotion. Oh, that person is getting so much, that person is getting manager's attention, let me do better. So life gets more hectic with time. You all should get used to it. In fact, that's why we say enjoy it. Enjoy it, you know. That's why we say pick up a job which you're going to enjoy. Pick it up so that वो बर्डन ना लगे. और ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. मत परेशान हो किसको 10,000 एक्स्ट्रा की जॉब मिल रही है, 10,000 कम की जॉब मिल रही हो. ट्रस्ट मी, 2 साल कॉलेज से पास आउट होने के बाद ये मैटर नहीं करता है कि मैंने है ना कैंपस में इतनी CTC की जॉब उठाई और उसने कैंपस में इतनी की उठाई. नहीं मैटर करता है. बहुत बार होता है हम सिर्फ 10,000 के डिफरेंस के लिए भी जॉब चेंज कर लेते हैं. नहीं मैटर करता है. मैटर करता है कहाँ पे आप हैप्पी हो, कहाँ पे आप इंजॉय कर रहे हो, कहाँ पे आपका ग्रोथ है, कहाँ पे आपके ड्रीम्स हैं. वो मैटर करता है सबसे ज्यादा. स्टार्टिंग में लगेगा नहीं मुझे चाहिए ये वाली जॉब, इसमें 50,000 एक्स्ट्रा है, मेरे फ्रेंड को मिल गई, वो है ना 4 lakh CTCs वाली, मुझे मिली 3.75 lakhs. Doesn't matter 25,000. First of all, CTC is a myth. One of my colleague Pranav will be talking about it, right? So let's see this before I'll move to Nibha. She'll give you some very beautiful, beautiful hacks. जॉब ऑप्शंस, जॉब सर्च करने के ऑप्शंस होते हैं कैंपस प्लेसमेंट, ऑफ कैंपस प्लेसमेंट्स. कैंपस प्लेसमेंट पे यूजुअली एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट होता है, आपकी पॉजिटिविटी चेक करते हैं, रेज्यूमे देखते हैं, इंटरव्यू प्रेप. बट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट हैक आई वांट टू गिव यू. इफ यू वांट टू एस कैंपस प्लेसमेंट, स्टे इन टच विथ प्लेसमेंट कोऑर्डिनेटर. यस, now you are not going to college, you are out there, do not miss out a message of placement coordinator. If Sanjay sir is your placement coordinator, make sure that you are in good books of Sanjay sir. Yes, make sure that he knows your strengths, make sure that he knows your eagerness. If there's a student rep for placement coordinator, make sure you know him, because lot of opportunities, lot of notices, you might be the first one to receive, and you might be the first one to start preparing for it. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. जॉब प्लेसमेंट में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, दो एक्सट्रीम्स में हम पहुंच जाते हैं. I won't get this job, I won't get this job, I won't get this job, I won't get this job. We keep saying this too, and we get into this negativity. It's extreme, wrong, not right thing to do. It will do lot and lot of harm to you. Another extreme है, I am super smart, I'm gonna get this job, I'm gonna get this job. If I won't get, who else will get this job? That's another extreme. Confidence is good, overconfidence is not good. Now, what happens is that you stop thinking about why will you get that job? There are 300 more students in your batch, 500 more students in your batch. All of them have same resume. All of them are smart like you, right? All of them. But why will you be getting that job? You become so positive. You just think about, I'll get this job, I'll get this job. But you miss out preparing for that job. The ideal scenario is, I'll get this job because I am preparing and doing a research about that company, what that company wants. I'll go do the research. I'll figure out what is the job description. I'll figure out what skills are required. I'll prepare for it. I'll find out all the things which company needs and I'll groom towards it. And that's the positivity mindset which is required. And when you go for that interview, these days you will do video interviews, right? You go with that mindset. I am good, others are good, but I'm prepared. I have given 100% to it, what I could have done. I have done it best, which I could have thought about, right? And then I'm going to go and give that interview. That's the positive attitude you go with. And when you go with, even if you don't get through, right? That experience, that preparation will help you get another job. Yes, no experience is waste. No preparation ever goes waste. Never ever can any preparation go waste. What goes waste is negativity or overconfidence. But never a preparation will go waste. Never. So, yes, that's why I said staying in touch with placement coordinator and confidence, not overconfidence. If you're looking at off campus placement, all the things are same, but you also need to do some legwork and follow up because it's the placement department which does legwork and follow up with the company. कौन सा स्टूडेंट रिक्रूट हुआ है कौन सा नहीं हुआ है which in off campus you have to do. That means you have to reach out, you have to check have you been selected or not. And that requires positivity, determination, and focus. So yes, off campus requires an extra skill than on campus. But some opportunities at off campus could be very, very rewarding. Here, I want you to give a cheat code. I want to give you one of the life mantra. Follow up communication matters. It matters most. Follow up communication. What I mean is, how once you go right to a recruiter, right? Writing an email, checking, or writing in WhatsApp, a formal WhatsApp, checking how you are doing. Have I been selected? Have I not been selected? Let me show you an example of follow-up message. I'll show you 3 examples, and you all will tell me which one is good and why. All right. So this is some follow-up message about a job post which I posted in one of the systems. All right. So there's this person who sent me a message. Hi, I saw your post. I'm interested to work on customer support and business development field. Please feel free to contact me. He sent this to me on June 17th, 20 last year. Then after 2 days, he's sending me question mark, question mark, question mark. After 3 days, he's sending me this. Could you please let me know your thoughts? What do you think? Is this a good follow-up or bad follow-up? Is it good? Is it good? Tell me yes, no. I want to hear, I want to see this. Mayank says no, Garima says no, Muskan says no, no, no. Okay, why do you think it's not a good follow-up? Come on. Why do you think it's not a good follow-up? Why? Why do you think it's not a good follow-up? I want to know. So all of you are saying no. Why? Not professional, okay? Not giving proper info. The professionalism is missing here for me. Very informal way of communication. He could have made casual behavior, seems too eager and not professional. Yeah, right, look at this question mark, and nothing, no information, right? Now I'm going to show you this. So this was another one. Again, the similar thing, replied on basis of some job post. She wrote like this. So, good evening, Surbi. I am Rajnandani Bansal. I'm currently doing undergrad. Okay, just a minute. All right. Uh, out there? Right? There's, okay, she has mentioned, I'm looking for HR and marketing internship in a reputed organization where I can get opportunities, so and so. She's talked about her skills, and then she has given her resume and also some tasks. What do you think? Is this a good follow-up, good reach out? What do you think? Is it good? Is it good follow-up? Good reach out? What about this one? Tell me in the chat. Mayank says yes. This looks like a good reach out, good follow-up. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. What about the others? You think this is a good follow-up. And why do you think it's good? Why do you think it's good? Why do you think it's good? I want to see an answer in chat. Why do you think it's good? It is professional and detailed. Okay. Okay. Detailed info with resume and test task, right? Proper information given, right? Very relatable approach. Fantastic. Now there's this one. Let's look at this. It's an okay. Now we are moving to another one. Ronak Kejriwal. This looks like has not a reply for any message, right? Because he says, sorry for shooting out DM's direct message randomly. I'm prospective new intern. So he says, I'm prospective. I'm not. I just joined the Discord channel. So that's our tool which we use. So he's saying, look, so he has not replied to a response. So this is a very good example that even if there's no job posting, how do you write to HRs? What do you think about? And I was bound to reply to Ronak. Hey, Ronak, could you share your resume? Right? Good example. Good example for all of you to see. How do you reach out to HRs? How do you reach out to people? How do you reach out? Very good example. And let's say if you have to do follow-up, you can do it in the same polite manner. So you saw the first example, you were like, what is this boy writing in question mark, so informal. But many times, all of us forget, we do the same thing. Because we are under so much stress. Now, interesting thing is, that message, the follow-up, which you saw, the first one, actually says nothing about his skills. There's a possibility the guy is very good at his work. There's a possibility that he's very good at whatever he does. But because he could not position himself right, he didn't even get an opportunity. And this usually happens with all of us. You all might question, those messages are not a reflection of skills. Because you're not doing a journalism job, na? That you have to write and show. Or you're not doing an HR job. You might be getting into some other job which doesn't require something like that. Right? So that's very important. Your first impression is very, very, very important. How you talk, how you communicate. And here I bring in my colleague, Nibha, to give you some very nice, interesting tips to you for preparing yourself for campus placements, for preparing yourself for off-campus placement. She will be telling you some nice hacks about doing your resume. But before that, do you all have your resumes ready? Yes, no? Nibha, is that your question I asked? All right. All right. I'm handing it over to you, Nibha. Right? Over
Thank
to
you
you.
so much, Surbhi. It was very, very informative session. I also learned from you very much. Thank you so much for that. So before starting the session, I want you all to open your video. I have some exercise to do because we have seated for 1 hour. Thank you, Manyak. Mayank, everyone, most of you, thank you, Hemant. So no need to be tidy, no need to be very smart looking, right? It's where we are a family. So we can cheer up together, we can laugh together, we can note together, right? So Garima, Aditi, Palak, Dhruv, I see for few seconds, let's say for a few minutes. Only then you can again switch off your video or you can on the video. Thank you, Husi. Thank you, Hemant. Thank you. Where are you, Palak? Garima, thank you so much. So see, you all are very beautiful souls, right? I want to see the smile in your face. So I think you are not happy right now. Are you happy? Okay, I'm seeing the smile. Thank you so much, Palak. Good to see you, Palak. Sajal, Saizal, anyone, Manav, Sezal. Well, thank you so much for accepting my request. Now, before starting the session, I want you to give a digital high five. Have you ever done this? Yes, no. So we are passing the energy first because this will give me energy and every my colleagues also to give you more into it, right? So are you all ready to give a digital high five? Okay, thank you for thumbs up. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a smile in your face. 5, 6, and 7. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you so much. Because this is the way of passing the energy, right? Otherwise, we will be all bored just listening. Few of us are interacting, but I also encourage everyone to interact, right? Because this will help us to come out with the best things that suit for you all. Okay, my session is on building a resume. Most of you definitely have made your resume. There is a small disclaimer to do, right? All the information that we are bringing is because of our experiences and the research that we have done, right? So you can share it to among your friends. You can apply in your experiences, and we will be much more grateful if you applied it and practice and practice and practice so that you can excel in your career. That is all good. Okay, you can maximum utilize the chat box, that chat box you have. If you have any queries, you can put in there. You can also make your video on if your bandwidth is okay. So, Suvi, please share the screen. So there's small disclaimer. I've already said this is all the things that we have brought is based on our experience. Hope this will be useful. About me, I am a career coach and I am a HR professional. I have a decade of experience working in HR in a corporate houses. So resume, what is resume, right? So Surbi have already discussed something about resumes, guys. So resume is the first expression about you because HR and recruiter really doesn't know about you, and it is the best tool to explain your skills, to explain who you actually are. Subi ma'am has given 3 examples, right? Giving the feedback and asking about the job and everything. So there are many set of examples. So you want to be a good example or bad example, choice is yours. And resume is the major document to explain about you, who you actually are. So do you remember the first example? And Subi ma'am has told, he might be a very good person, but the way of expressions is very bad, which made a very bad impression on Subi ma'am, right? So this is the same case with the resume. So I will discussing few facts about resume. Second, do's and don'ts of making resume. Third is outlines of resume. What are the things that we can include in resume? And resume evaluation checklist. that is being developed by HR professionals, which could be very useful for you also. So I'll be showing one example of resume and tips of giving interviews. So if time allows, I will share another format also. Otherwise, we can cover up this in 30 to 45 minutes. So everyone is okay with this? Please type yes. Okay, I'm excited. You can write it there. I'm excited. Yes. Please give me some energy, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks. Okay. So there is a few myths and few facts about resume. It is a marketing tool. So when we hear about marketing, what comes in your mind? There are different tools of marketing, right? That is being used by corporate houses. For let's say advertisement. Advertisement is done to sell the product. So similarly, resume is the marketing tool for you all. Why? Because it explains what you can do, what are the benefits that company will get after hiring you. It is the best way to speak about your skills, your knowledge, what are you good at. So best utilize this resume is a very one of the marketing tool. And another myth is it should be minimum 2 pages or hardly 3 pages. For freshers, 1 page is enough. It depends on the stories that we are going to tell. See, HR department or the recruiters have thousands of resume for one position. So how you differentiate yourself among thousands of applicants to get shortlisted is a big question that you need to answer yourself. Another point that is resume is dead. Someone or some myth is coming like resume is dead. Resume is not required, but this is not true. It is also being said that resume is being replaced by LinkedIn, which is also not true. So I'm saying why? Because resume has some purpose, whereas LinkedIn has some purpose. LinkedIn is used for different varieties, right? Resume is used for very specific work. It gives the precise information of years to tell that you are the best fit for your dream career. I'm sure that you all have envisioned your career, right? A vision is very important to move ahead. After graduations, after college, when you will land in the market, then you are not alone. There are many people, right? So you need to stand out and you need to speak out. You need to advise yourself. Another slide, ma'am. So another point that I'm going to discuss is do's and don'ts about making resume. You can make a reference of the resume that you have already made or you have already seen or you are planning to make it, right? So first point is your headline. So how many of you read the newspaper? You can write in the chat. You read newspaper, you read uh, magazines. How many of you read the magazines or newspaper? You can write in chat or you can say yes. Anyone of you that who do not read the newspaper? There is rare cases, right? So in the newspaper, you will see the headlines, doesn't you? Don't you? So based on the headline, you read the whole article, even if it is longer than 1 page or more than half page, right? So it is the similar case on your resume. There should be a headline like what you are looking for and what you have. There should be major headline in your resume, your starting point, right? Second is the resume format should be very simple and very clean and very neat. For example, let's have in some example, right? For example, you are a recruiter and you are screening resume of 100 applicants today. You have lots of documents to screen out, right? So if you got a resume which is very clean, very neat, keep it aside, right? If that document is very messy, and the layouts are not clean, then you will give a second preference. It shows how serious you are for the career, for the job you're looking for, you're applying for, right? So you should have a very clear layout, clear font, very clean formats. That is very much important. I have seen candidates who bring their resume like this folded, right? This doesn't look good, right? Some candidates come in this way. It should not be. It should not be. Your resume should have a proper
Debra, can you show that again?
Is clear? It is very folded, not good. It's so it's so not clean, right? This kind of format. There is no text at all, but when you fold your resume like this, it doesn't look clean. Yes, so the formats, even the paper you fold is very important because it shows your personality, right? So third point that I want to make is use very simple language, right? You really don't know who will be screening your resume, right? So language should be very simple. I have seen that very hard word, very complex words are being used, very big jargons are used. Yes, jargon can be used based on the company's requirement, but the language that you will be using must be very simple, which makes the reader, your recruiter, understandable and attractive towards your resume, right? Fourth point I want to focus on is make it more achievement oriented, not job descriptions oriented. There is a trend while writing a volunteering experience or writing your experiences, right? Many people write job descriptions, right? Instead of writing a job descriptions, you can write what you have achieved in that job, in that work, right? That is much more important than writing a job descriptions, right? Another fifth point is your resume should be in such a format that it can be opened in your phone. Right now, many recruiters are opening resumes in their phone, right? If it can be scrollable, if it can be read in 10 to 15 seconds, then that is more sellable, right? That is more effective than longer version of your resume in the phone. So it should be in a format that can be readable in your phone, because most of the format, uh, for example, doc and every doc, Google, some kind of formats got messy, and I prefer using PDF that gives us format, one kind of uh, usable format, right? So that recruiter can easily see in their phone. Another sixth point is don't ever hide your gap in the resume. Be decent, right? Be decent on writing your gap, writing your spaces on there. So why there is a space in your employment history or your education's part is good to write. Otherwise, if you do not write the gap, or if you keep the high, if you hide the gap in your resume, in your employment status, or in your educations, that give an opportunity for a recruiter to perceive in a different way, which you should not be doing it. So don't ever hide gap in your resume. Another point is very important point is making a customizable resume. See, there is a practice of using one same format for different type of industries. It is very important to do a research while making a resume. For which company you are making a resume, for which position you are making a resume, and customize according to that. You need to look at the job descriptions that has shown or that has been published by the recruiter or by the company, and based on that You can define the keywords that you can put in your resume. That is very much important to get further shortlisted in your job. Another point is using a splash of colors, right? It's not it's not so many colors, but very decent 1 to 2 colors in the section, right? In the point, in the different section, different areas of resume. So using this color, make the resume more highlighted, right? Or make the point that you want to get highlighted. So using a color can also be done. Another ninth point is you need to follow the reverse chronological level. For example, you have passed your master's, let's say bachelor in 2018 and doing your master's 2020, then 2020 doing your master's should come first and your bachelor's second, because it helps recruiter to know where are you right now, what are the skill set you have, what are the knowledge you have, updated knowledge you have. So that is important. And last point that I want to highlight on this section is have a top achievement right on the top. There are many achievements, relevant achievements for that company that you need to showcase, right? For that, you need to keep the top achievement of yours on which you have very much confidence, on which you are very much proud of. That should be on the top row, right? While writing the achievements. So these are the major 10 points that we can do, that we cannot do, right? So before moving into another point, so are you with me? You can give me a thumbs up. You can give me yes. You can also say no with the question, right? So thank you, Mr. Yadav. Anyone else? Thank you, Akriti. Thank you, everyone. So this interaction will help me to get updated, right? Whether you are in or whether you are not. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. If many of us not are interacting in the chat box, you can interact. It is also a way of coming out of fear, right? Sometimes we have a tendency that we could not speak out, we could not write. But when you decided that I need to do that, and you step out of it and do it, then your fears just will go out. Thank you, everyone. So another point I'm going to say about the framework, or let's say different sections of resume, which is very general, right? First point is career highlights. So career highlight means the career summary or your journey summary, right? It should be customizable as per the company's requirement, or what are you are good at, what are the skills you have, what are you looking for. That should be in your topmost of your resume. Second point is key competences. We have many competencies in self. If we do our own SWOT analysis, strength weakness analysis, then we will get lots of things, right? We have all set of skills, we have all set of competencies, but it is not good way of writing all the competencies you have in the resume, right? Because employer or recruiter wants to see the competences, skill areas or abilities that they are looking for. So no need to write every competences, but you write the keywords, key competences that gives you more highlight, that explains you, right? Another point is writing a volunteering or your real-time experiences, working experiences. Most of us do not have, uh, may not have the working experience, but we must have, or we have the volunteering experience or internship experiences, right? So you can highlight that also, and it is should be in the chronological level also. So you can highlight your work experience, what are your achievements into it, what are the things that you have done, right? Another areas is award or achievements, right? You must have, or you could have awarded, or you've been awarded in your college, in your experience, in your work time. write, or you can write all these things. Another is training or certifications. For example, you're attending this 3 to 4 hour sessions, right? This is one sort of training also. So this training or certifications you can write in a resume, but it should be relevant and it should be as per the requirement of that organization, right? So you can write that. You can write your certifications also. Another important point is you can write about or your engagement areas such as extracurricular activities, your publications. You can write the blogs, right? You can publish the blogs. You can publish the articles. You can also write it down because it shows your writing capabilities and it should be matchable with the client employee's requirement. And another important point is writing your contact details. I have seen many candidates who are not or who missed out writing the right contact details, right? Sometimes their email address is wrong, sometimes their phone number is wrong. It should not be you should not be doing that. So your contact details should be very much correct. Another last is references. You can keep your references in the resume, right? But those who you keep the references, that person should be aware about it. Otherwise, that person is, if that person is unaware, if that person doesn't know that he or she is given in your references, then they can be blank or they will not be prepared. So references is important. You can keep that. So everyone is with me with me? If yes, please write yes. Or if you get bored, you can write bored also. We will try to make more funny. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. So another slide that we are going to show is the resume evaluation checklist. I will uh, wrap it out in very short time. You can get it from Career Guide. We can share this to you.
Yeah, Niba, I want to share here with everybody that all the presentation which we will be showing you here, we'll pass it to Sanjay sir and he can forward it to all of you.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the resume evaluation checklist. Generally, HR does. Somewhere it can be applicable, somewhere it cannot be applicable, but it is very beneficial for the job seekers like us, right? Like you. So first, resume is the very first impression of yours. So you need to check it. You need to do a checklist, right? So does the resume look original and not based on the template? So it should not be copy paste. It should be you, right? For example, in resume selections, all the selection clearly labeled in accomplishment oriented? Does the resume include a solid listing of career accomplishment, right? So these are the few points that you can check it. Another we have also, please, next slide, please. Your relevancy, your appearance, your writing style, right? You can go through all this point while making the resume or while sending the resume to your prospective employers, right? So we want to show the sample resume. We get it from the internet. You get lots of sample, but I'm sharing this sample to you. There are other samples also. So if you see on top of this document, you will see your name in a very highlighted form and your contact details and your career summary, right? So this is a sample is of a brand manager or a person looking for a brand manager position, right? So you can write a summary or your highlights over there. Then you can go into the key skills or key competences you have there. Then your experience, volunteering experience or working experience, you can write in a reverse chronological levels. You can write the internships, you can write the educations, you can write the additional informations in the similar patterns, right? You can do it. You can do this. And what I want to share is, if you are a first timer resume writer, or you are writing for the first time, right? You need to validate this resume to the next person, or let's say career counselor or career coach, or your coordinators, right? Or HR person, or your relatives, professionals, right? You can do anything, but you need to cross check whether this resume fits it or not, right? You can share this to your near and dear ones. So till here, so resume describes you, right? Resume, you got successful and you got opportunity to land in your dream job interview, and it's because of your resume and your networking, right? And other marketing tools that you'll be using further, right? So after you got success or you got interview calls, right? So won't be that a happy moment, or it will be a sad moment? Obviously it will be a happy moment, right? You've been sending lots of resume, or sending resumes to lots of organizations that you have dreamed of, right? And you landed for the interview, then that's the very happy moment. But it should not be limited there, right? So when you are being called for interview, then it's time to show your presentations, right? Who you actually are, right? So resume has done its work, right? Your networking has done its work. Now it's real you that will be facing your future employer or dream career that you want to pursue with, isn't it? So first interview is very much important to reach out your goal. So preparation is very much important. So I am going to share about some tips, right, for attending the interview. Are you all ready? Excited? Or you are just get bored about it? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So next slide, we are going to share about some tips and do's and don'ts of interview, right? Right now, because of COVID, video interview has been the new normal, right? Zoom interview, Skype interview, Hangouts interview, Google Hangouts interview, it has been very normal because of the COVID. There used to be interview in Skype from 2003, but because of COVID in 2020, it has been very normal to have a session like this, to have an interview like this. So we have brought some tips that could be useful for you in your future attending your interviews, right? First, very important is to do a research. Research, and research. For example, you are applying for DAWA and you don't know about any products of DAWA, then that is not useful, right? If you do not know who you are being interviewed with, then you will definitely get panic in the interview, right? If you do not know what are the things that will be asked in the interview, then you will be panicked in the interview. So it is a digital world, right? Because of COVID, it has been so easy that we get lots of informations and we get to interact across the borders, right? So use that. Google Brother is there. You can Google it, right? You can go to their website. You can even connect the recruiters from LinkedIn before going to interview, right? So do lots of homework before attending interview. Second point is you need to check your visual beforehand. Is your laptop working? Is your desktop working? We do not recommend mobile because mobile sometimes take lots of bandwidth, right? and sometimes it get messy also, and it doesn't look better. So we prefer laptop or desktop while giving while for the interview, and it should be ready beforehand. You need to test your webcam in advance. That is also important. Another is your camera position. If your camera position is in the eye level, then that is very much important because it gives more confidence. It gives eye to eye contact. Then the body postures and body language will be much more better, right? Another is you need to make sure lighting is very correct. When light, when we have a very dark room, then it is not a very good impression, right? So you should have a very decent light that keeps your face very charming, very light, right? So that is also very important. And your background is to be very neat. Why this is important? Because interviewers want to focus on you, not your background, right? Otherwise, interviewers get distracted to look around your background, what you have in the background, right? You should not be giving that opportunity. You should have a very clear background as possible, right? Or and another is your background should be blank. Blank wall is recommended because it gives more attention to you, right? So another slide will talk about the audio checks, right? So another important point is beforehand, you need to check your audio, whether this sounds well, whether this is audible or not. You need to check with your friends or your family members or the near one who you have, right? It is very much important. Similarly, you need to have a very quiet environment, right? It's a distract free environment. If you have a very lovable pet or a dog or any other animal you have in your house, right? You should not be with them. Otherwise, you get distracted. You should not have children around you, right? Or you should not have TV open, right? So it is very much important to have a very quiet environment. First of all, you need to check yourself also. Like you need to be very sure that okay, this is very audible and I'm very audible, right? And you should have a you should wear a smile. There's some mistake. You should wear a smile in your face, right? Other, if your face is dull, if you're not smiling, then that is a very bad impression, right? Smiley face of yours and smiley face of your interviewers makes the environment so comfortable that you can speak out very comfortably. So wear a smile, right? Give a very decent smile. It will make the interviewers and yourself very comfortable. Another point is you should have a very right tone, not very small tone or very bigger sound. Also, you should have a very good body language. It is as much important while you're doing your video interview, while you're doing your live interview. It is very much important because it shows your confidence, it shows your behavior, it shows your habit. So it is very much important. Another point is dress professionally, whether it in visual, whether it is in live interview, you should be in a very smart wear, very professional wear, because that is the impressions that you will be sending to others to interview. This is the way how we communicate. It is very much important. As I have said earlier, we need to keep the relevant skills in the resume, not all. We have lots of stories to tell, but you need to be very attentive or very smart that you are speaking about the skills that is required for that job. You should be very smart and very picky to explain about your achievements that is very relevant to them, right? and give lots of example. There is a formula CAR, car, we drive, right? CAR. So C means context, A means actions, R means result. While giving interviews, while giving examples of your achievements, what are the things that you have done, keep it very precise and clear in this CAR. First, you explain about the context. R, A, what are the actions you have done and what are the results you have done? What are the results you have achieved? That helps the interviewer to imagine, right? What are the things that you have done? And they can easily navigate further. Another point is practice, 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 right? I've seen one video, or I want to give one example of cricketers, right? Everyone, how many of you love cricket? I really like cricket. How many of you? Nobody like cricket? Him like crickets. Okay. I want to give example of cricket, right? So cricketer, what does cricketer do? You want to hear that? Let's say cricketer. I want to give example of cricketer, right? So cricketer, before going to field, right? Before going to field or before going for the game, they first practice and practice and practice before the main game. And one secret I want to share is they imagine of playing the game and they imagine winning the game, right? They keep on imagining. Before sleeping, they also imagine like what sort of shots they are giving, right? How they are running, how they are catching the ball. So they all do this. This help them subconsciously prepare themselves, right? This is similar case with you all, with us also, right? We need to practice in such a way that subconsciously it comes easily, right? While giving interviews, you need to prepare very well. Yeah, you need to prepare yourself in front of mirror, or you should be preparing in front of your video. You should be preparing like in general questions, answers for general questions. You need to prepare answers beforehand. So it is very important to do practice, practice, and practice. There is a common problem among us, right? We are very good at planning, we are very good at preparations, but we lack on attempting, right? We do not engage, we do not practice, we do not act at all. So action is very important in case of resume writing also, while preparing for interview, while giving an interview, right? So best wishes to you all. Keep smiling. I know you all will do very good in your career. So this is from my side. If there is any question, we will take definitely. So Surabhi,
Yes.
after, so thank you.
Thank you, Nibha. I want all of my friends from Jaypee universities today to go and check your existing resume. Is it designed on the recommendation which Nibha has given to all of us? Please do that. I want all of you to be doing that today. My important suggestion, remember she mentioned that you attended this workshop, it should be written in your resume. Yes, and I don't know if you know this, all of you who's attending this workshop, you will also be getting a certificate from CareerGuide.com for attending this workshop. And very important thing, have be on LinkedIn. How about all of you go on LinkedIn, send me, Surbhi Devra, Nibha, if you can type name on chat, LinkedIn request. Also type your name, full name, which is on LinkedIn, so that send us LinkedIn request. We can do, Nibha ma'am can do an informal review of your resume, informal review of your LinkedIn also. Always you can send a request to her, ma'am, we attended your workshop, please find out what's mistake in my resume, and she will gladly do that. That's very, very important. And practice. Practice was the key. Yes, practice. Rehearse for your interviews. This time, everything will happen on video. Get ready for video. So, just taking an example on the light part. So, I think Manav, my dear friend, so he came on video 2 times to speak, right? And we could not see him very clearly. Like, he did look handsome, but we could not make out that a lot. So, yes, that's very, very, very important. Any questions for Nibha or me? I want to pick up a question.
I've
Yes,
shared my LinkedIn profile also, if, as Survi ma'am has told, if
yes.
you
You
have
can share
any
my
case
LinkedIn
about,
also, Nibha, on the
yeah,
chat.
I will share it.
Yes. Any questions, friends? We'll take a pause. We would want to pick up a question. You will get your certificate and you will also be getting all the presentation material. Questions, questions? At least one question before we begin. And do go after this workshop, go look at your resume and see all the feedback has been implemented or not. Questions? Any questions? Come on, one question. Let's get to one question. So if you don't ask me a question like classroom, I'll ask a question. I'll ask one of you to answer that. So it looks like we are very much sorted. We know everything. Or is that we all have slept? Have you all slept? No? All right. So come on, speed. If this was not COVID, we would have been face to face talking, right? But this is also an exciting way. And as Nibha mentioned, that we need energies because we don't know what's happening the other side, right? So let's have that energy. Okay, very good question. Is it necessary to have a resume restricted to a single page? I'll answer that, but first I'll let Nibha answer that.
Okay. So there is a trend of making resume up to page 2, right? But if we are fresher, then one page resume is enough because we can keep all the very necessary things into one page. We can easily do that, right? Because I have already said that there are thousands of applicants that one person has to screen out, right? So if there are 2 or 3 pages, they can easily skip out, right? Major main information. So if your one piece resume consists of the things that a recruiter really looking for, then that is enough. So if you have many stories to tell, you can go up to 2, but I recommend up to 1, please.
Right, that's my answer too. Fantastic. So I'm moving to our next leg. In fact, we have another my colleague Pranav who will talk about very important parts, skills, attitude, CTC. But before that, we want to also share something very interesting. We want to share some presentations about the kind of competitive exams you all can give after your graduation. I'll just skim it for 2 minutes because it's just set of information which we will be giving you access to PPT. I'll also show you a presentation with all the government exams which are available. And most importantly, I'll also talk about some creative careers. Now, the beauty of creative careers is that, my friend, any one of us can pick it irrespective of whether are we from BTech or BBA or MBA. All right, I think I'll bring Nibha back in action. So Manav has a question, Nibha. What is the relevance of online courses and certifications according to recruiters? I'll let Nibha answer this, Manav, though we have a dedicated topic on this, but let Nibha answer. Should we include it in our resume or not? What was the scenario regarding the same in pre and post COVID world? Do you want to add, Nibha, from your perspective?
I want to add, and please add from your side
Sure.
also.
Sure.
Because of COVID, because COVID has given opportunity to many people to scale up, right? We can develop, we had opportunity to develop our skills, our abilities, right? And recruiters look for the things, right? Recruiters definitely look for the areas how this person has utilized the COVID, because we had lots of time for ourselves, right? So writing the relevant courses and certification is very much important. That will give value in the resume, right? And that certifications and that online courses, each relevant to that prospective employer, then that is a plus point,
Sure. So my
right?
take,
So
yeah,
yes, Suvi, please.
yeah, Manav, agree. So yes, online courses and certifications are very beneficial. Please add it on your resume. Please do not miss it. As many certifications you want to add, do add it. As another thing is, pre-COVID also online certifications were valid, very much valid, because it showed and told recruiter that you are a self learner and you are motivated. Because in online course, nobody is sitting like, pushing you to do it, do it, do it, right? You have to enroll yourself, you have to take and complete the course. So it was in before pre-COVID also it was positive. After COVID it has become normal. Nobody's going to question it. But yes, let's say if you will have 20 online course, and if a recruiter asked you about one of the course, you are blank, that's not right. So as Nibha mentioned, every single thing written on your resume, every single word you write, you should know its meaning and why it's written. Now here, my friends, I want to tell you a story which happened in one of my interviews which I gave post college when I was trying to switch company. It's funny, but it's very relatable. So I was working in semiconductor earlier. So I am a graduate from BITS Pilani, did electrical and electronics, and post that I did couple of diploma programs and certifications in management. But after doing electrical and electronics, I got a placement offer from a semiconductor industry. So I was in a semiconductor working on Wi-Fi chips, wireless chips, and there was this another company based in Hyderabad where I applied. I got an interview call. Now, this company had 7 rounds of interview. Uh, Now, in the first round, I was asked something which was written in the objectives of resume. They asked, "What does it mean?" Because I copied it from one of my senior, he was very experienced. I didn't expect the recruiter will ask me that meaning of that word, which was like technical word. I said, "I don't know." He explained it to me what it means. Interesting thing, in the fourth round, again the recruiter asked me, a different recruiter, "What is the meaning of this thing, this statement?" This time I told, because the first recruiter told me what it means. Now he told me that in the first round you did not tell what was the meaning. I was like, "Yeah, but I was explained what was its meaning." So he was like, "Yes, we asked this because we want to see whether are you a quick learner or not." So I learned two things from that interview. I did not get the job, sorry. I learned two things from that episode. Don't write anything on the resume which you don't know. So it's very embarrassing to say I don't know what's this. It just simply says that you copied it from somewhere. Second thing I learned, people like quick learners. So even if you don't know something, but if you ask and find it out and you share it, they appreciate. They do not expect you to know everything, but they definitely expect you to have hunger for learning. So yes, that was my experience. So Manav, I hope we answered that. Honey has another question. Feel free to take it up, Nibha. Can we include our hobbies in resume? As many say that sitting in technical interview, our hobbies are not at all relevant to it. Do you want me to take that up or you want to take it first, Nibha?
I will take it, then
Sure,
you add on this.
sure, sure.
So there is a practice of writing hobbies in the resume also, right? But in my experience, this is not rules or anything, but in my experience, what I found is if you're fresher and your hobbies connect with the need of that employer, right? If that hobbies is relevant to the job or to the experience that you want to take in is relevant, then it is good to write. But your hobbies and the employer's need is different, then it is not okay to write it. You can explain in the interview also, right? So if you have many stories to tell, uh, make it precise. If hobbies is relevant to that, write it. If hobbies is not relevant to that company, do not write it.
Sure. So, like Nibha said, it's very different from recruiter to recruiter. And Hani Gupta is saying that in technical interviews, should I be writing hobbies? I will say write it. Okay. So, again, recruiter to recruiter, hobbies do represent your personality, even if it's a technical interview. Whether you like guitar, whether you like painting, whether you like reading, it's important. But again, back to the same point, don't write it because you have to write it. Now, if people end up writing reading, every single person ends up writing reading. And if recruiter asks you, what was the last book you read? Maybe in 8th standard, I read Nancy Drew. Does not work. You know, you need to have even tangible story to talk about your hobbies. What did you do, right? So you write, oh, I paint. When did you paint last? In my school drawing class, painting class. That does not work. So if your hobbies are like that, don't write, right? But you have a meaningful hobby which has stories to be talked about, so do write, right? But do write about your achievements, extracurriculars, workshops, and all of your attending. Another question from Mayank Yadav. What is the key highlight in resume which works to get first internship? We will talk about it, Mayank. We have an internship section. I'll be taking up that question. Can we add about the conferences that we attend in resume, Rohit? Yes, yes, big yes. Do write about it. Fantastic. Thank you. That was lovely set of questions. Nibha, thank you for being around. And even if you are able to think about your question, Nibha, you can answer even in chat, if you're not able to take it up. Should we personalize our resume for each opportunity? Janki, very interesting question. Nibha mentioned that personalize it. I know it gets tricky to personalize all the resume, but yes. Let's say, for example, if you are into management, you are applying for sales role and you are also applying for digital marketing. These two needs to be personalized. Yes. But if you're applying for business development, sales, right, or something related, then they all can be fall into the similar lines. But if they are two totally different, so let's say BTech student is applying, let's say, to an internship for digital marketing, then it should be tuned towards digital marketing. You should talk about why you want digital marketing. Then don't write about or everything about your C plus programming and Oracle project and how you did it. Then it becomes off. Right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So this is so exciting. Nipha, feel free to type in the answers further on chat for everybody's benefit. Your this thing. I'll be quickly taking on government entrance exams. Don't worry, don't write it down. I'll be sharing this presentation to you. Yes. So there's civil services, there's engineering services, combined defense, armed police, insurance, NDA, all these popular ones. We have given you minimum age requirement. What is the exam websites, what is, what basic is required in it. So in this presentation, so engineering services exam website is upscgovernment.in. Recruitment for different engineering position in government, selection process, paper 1, paper 2, which you can choose whichever discipline you have. Defense after graduation 19 to 24 for Air Force, Naval, right? So that's you can have. Uh, it's again the website is for all the website is upscgovernment.in, upscgov.in. So this is a website which sets up your notifications for all the exams, including wildlife and every central position. It is one which is responsible for taking care of. This is for 10 plus 2, not relevant for all of you. Then railway jobs, right? So what are railway jobs? Again, it's upscgovernment.in. Then armed forces, how you can get through it. There's the armed forces, banking exams. What are the eligibility for getting into government banks? So this, and each one of you, the beauty is that each one of you can go ahead and attempt it. Remember, highly competitive. Do it only if you want super comfortable job, right? And if you don't want to push yourself, compete. RBI grade exam, or railway recruitment board, teachers eligibility test, staff selection commission, right? All this presentation, which will share it with you, you can go through it, right? Looks good. Okay, perfect. Right, so this is a government exam presentation. I'll be sharing it to Sanjay sir. Sanjay sir can forward it to all of you. I think I'm not sure if I can share it here also. Rohit will take up your question. Nibha will write. I think yes, it's important. Even if you could get bad marks, it's important to add. Even if it's not as good as hiding itself means it's a question mark. So reverse chronological resume will have all that. All right. So I'll also, while I showed you government competitive exam, I'll show you something on other competitive exams, the higher education options after graduation. Many of you here is doing MBA. So for MBA, you write so many different tests. There are different entrance exams. CAT, ZAT, SNAP, GMAT. GMAT is for going abroad. The more regional entrance exams being written. TIS has TIS exams, CMAT, other things. How do you do? The simple process for MBA. Jaypee itself has its MBA, so you know the process and selection criteria for getting into MBA. So this is not very difficult. IIFT entrance, that's more like fashion, technology. Yes, you can do it in your post graduation. It's open to you all. Symbiosis, GMAT, and okay, these are something Jaypee already has MBA, so it might not be very relevant. If you want to get into mass communication, there's a college called MICA. Social service, there's a college called TIS. Right, so these are some of them. We'll share again. But before that, before I begin, before I take you through last 1 hour of the seminar, in last 1 hour, I'll be taking segments on internships. I'll be taking segment on those online certification and extracurricular. I'll also touch upon and talk about what are different types of offbeat new age careers which we should be looking at. And if you want, you can look at. So by this time, we have looked at government exams, we have looked at interview preparation during COVID times, we have looked at an ideal resume, we have looked at the fact that all of you needs to have a LinkedIn profile and connect with all of us, right? That should be very, very important. LinkedIn is a very important domain to stay afloat. In fact, I literally forgot. Okay, I'll show you this checklist later on. So we also saw the reasons for getting into higher education. We saw reasons for getting into job. How should we be looking at? And we also saw how should we be looking at the placement opportunities and job opportunities. Here, I want to bring in a very interesting colleague of mine and a very interesting coach mentor who will be telling you something very important about video resume, super important in today's date, who will be telling about realities of life, that is skills versus, you know, what is CTC's realities. So he'll be telling you all about that. And I would expect you will be asking some very interesting question. Keep your pen and paper and start thinking about your question. Pranav, hi. Welcome to this seminar organized by Jaypee Universities.
Thanks a lot, Surbi. Uh, I hope everybody is excited and you guys have learned some very valuable points here. And with the background that has been set here, I would like to proceed and would want to talk about certain areas, specifically areas like what matters more, whether it's skills or whether it's certificates or degrees for that matter, right? In fact, that's a question that's there in the minds of a lot of people. In fact, if you guys have that question in your mind, please let me know. Maybe you could just say that uh, I have this question in my mind, right? The question is, what matters more, your skills or your degrees? Anybody who shares this question in their mind? Okay, I do. Janki says I do. Anybody else? Okay, so there are more questions coming in. Rohit is asking about online courses uh, that you've purchased from Udemy, edX. Can we add them because it's not a course? We'll talk about a lot of that. Abhinav says that he has this question. Mayank says he has this question. Devansh Tyagi says he has this question, that what matters more, skills or certificates? Vivek Singh says he has that question. I think that's a question that's there in the minds of a lot of people. What matters more, skills or degrees? You know, because you're talking about placement training and not just placement training, becoming successful at life, what is most important is having the know-how, having the skills to excel. That is of prime importance. Okay. Having said that, it's not that degrees are not important. They have their place. But if you have to compete with people of your ilk, in the sense, if you have to compete with people from your same batch, then degrees are not important because everybody has the same degree. So what can you do? You can focus on your skills. And the way the world is moving, degrees are becoming less and less relevant. Not that I'm saying that you should not focus on degrees. I think they are very important. But what is more important is what you know. Because if you know how to do a thing, then that is what really counts. And I'll give examples. Without getting too much into what I do, I'll just probably take a minute to just give a background. I've been someone who's started different ventures in the past. We have sold some ventures. I am also director for Career Guide. And over the last 8 years, we have been mentoring startups and investing in some of them. We run an incubator, startup incubator called Stirring Minds. So having an experience of working with multiple universities in and outside India, as well as a lot of startups, helping them scale in India and outside, we've worked with so many corporates. We've kind of worked with so many students also, and we understand both the sides. And because we also help international ventures recruit their talent, we understand what they're looking for right now. And what they're looking for right now is your ability to do certain things. I don't know if search this article or a press release In fact, you can on your Google search for a statement, which is a statement by some of the top companies across the world, which says that we don't need certificates, we don't need degrees, we want skills. Okay, so companies like Apple, companies like Google, companies like Facebook, companies like Tesla, they've all come forward and said that even if you're a 10th fail, it doesn't matter to us. Okay, as long as you possess the skills. Not that I'm saying that you should not do well in your grades. It's very important to position yourself well in front of recruiters when it comes to your acads, when it comes to your degrees. It's a starting point. So where do degrees come into the picture? Degrees come into the picture because if you can say that, okay, you are from this college and you've completed this degree with this kind of a grade, then it becomes a starting point. You are in the race. At times, because companies get lakhs of resumes, thousands of resumes, your degrees as well as your grades can become an elimination criteria. It may not be a selection criteria, but it can become an elimination criteria, in the sense a company can say that, okay, I'll go to only few colleges like Jaypee, some other colleges, and recruit only from there, and I'll probably not go to some lower rung colleges. And that's where your education becomes very important. They can say that, okay, I'll probably only interview people with a CGPA of this plus or this much marks in 10th, 12th, and so on and so forth. And that is where it's important. Not that they are looking only for people who have scored above it. It's just that that it's just that because you have so many resumes to go through, you would rather say that rather than going through 1000 resumes, I'll just focus on 200. And how do you reach that number of 200 is by just putting this as an elimination criteria and reducing rest of the resumes. Not that you feel that the other people are not relevant, that's not the point. There could be a lot of people outside that selection pool, but it just becomes easy for you to go through a limited resumes. So that's one. But once the elimination criteria has been put in, then your selection doesn't depend upon your marks. In fact, there are hardly any companies who would select you basis your marks. Companies would select you basis your knowledge. So am I making myself clear? If there are any questions related to this, please feel free to ask. Abhinav, Devansh, Dhruv, Vivek, Mayank. I hope I've been able to kind of just build a ground for you to understand why skills and degrees are different. And when it comes to skills, let me just probably pull out a resume of a student who had done an internship with us. Okay, and I'll then probably explain why skills are more important. Okay, let me just do a screen share. Okay, and let me just show this resume on the screen. Okay, I hope you can see this resume on the screen. This is a guy who did an internship with us. Looks pretty young, right? Yeah, because he's just 15 years of age. He's in grade 10th now. I'm sure he's probably in grade 11th, but when he came to us, he was in grade 10th. But if you just look at his resume, you'll see that this guy, if you read, he's a grade 4 certified in piano by Trinity College London, participated in 10 to 12th Model United Nations conferences. He was a delegate at Harvard Model United Nations. He's an Android developer. Okay, but what is more important is that he's an Android developer for the last few years. Okay, and he already has apps on the Play Store with a few thousand downloads. Okay, he is qualified for zonal information olympiads. He can do algorithmic concepts like dynamic programming, graph algorithms, BFS, DFS. He is someone who's an expert for the last 3-4 years in Android Studio, Unity 3D, Adobe Photoshop, Inkspace, well versed with Java, C++, Unity scripts, Linux. He's an expert in Firebase, other softwares that you can think of. He's doing 3D modeling, Blender, a lot of other things. So what I'm just saying is that this guy at the age of 15 had all these skills, and trust me, he was better at his job as compared to a lot of people who had even worked in the corporate world for a few years. And hence, it was very easy for him to get whatever he wanted. And in fact, there were some other people who were from very good engineering colleges, and we did not recruit them because probably they did not know anything in Android. They did not know anything in 3D Unity. They did not know anything in other softwares. They just had a degree that they are probably from an XYZ college and they have completed BTech, right? So that's what the difference is. In today's world, people are just focusing on what you know, okay? Your degree would give you an entry into the interview room, but your selection is based on what you know. So if you can spend the rest of your time in college focusing on building what you know, then you stand a chance to present yourself and get selected. Probably. Hope I'm making myself a little clear. Any thumbs up from you guys? Any feedback? Do you understand what I'm saying? Does it make any sense to you people? uh, right, so thanks for the thumbs up, Vivek. Nikunj says yes, Aditi says yes, Akriti says yes, Pratyush says a thumbs up. So guys, this is what the world is today. The world today doesn't care about degrees that much. It cares more about skills. So that's where the question, whether it's skills versus degrees, I think both are important. But after getting the minimum standard of degree, minimum standard of qualification, then your selection only depends upon your skills and what you know, right? So that's how I would want to answer it. Okay. At the same time, now the question is, how do you kind of make yourself visible? Because what happens is, there are a lot of CVs that come to any recruiter. Okay. In fact, if we talk about our company, we get thousands of CVs ourselves. Do we go through all the CVs? No, we don't. Okay. There are hardly any recruiters who would read all your CVs, because the initial rounds, there's so many CVs that they get, not just from one college, but across the country and at times even outside, that it is practically impossible for people to go through all your CVs. Okay. So while you may take a lot of effort in building your CVs well, they may just at times see certain highlights, or at times a lot of companies, what they do is they use data entry operators to get basic information out of your CV, and they run some queries on a lot of candidates. Queries like, okay, does the candidate mention these terms? Does the candidate fall into a category of people who got this much CGPA, and so on and so forth? And then they'll probably reduce the numbers to lower numbers, and they'll probably shortlist you. Even after shortlisting, they may not exactly go through all the CVs. It's only later in the interview that they would probably, while you are in front of them, they would probably go through the CV at length. Okay. So when the world is full of so many of these people applying for jobs, how do you stand out? Video resume is one such method, specifically in today's times when everything has become video first. After COVID, we are interacting with each other through videos. Videos are of two types: synchronous as well as asynchronous. Okay, so synchronous is like this Zoom meeting wherein you can listen to me and watch me live. Asynchronous is maybe on a chat channel, I'll record my video and send it to you so that you can watch it whenever you get time to watch that video. Okay, that's asynchronous. So I'm just saying that videos have become the thing, and video CVs are very important. So I'll probably take you through an example. So there was this guy called Sahil Batra. He's a close friend. He used to work for my company earlier in the past. So when COVID struck, okay, he lost his job because so many companies across the world were laying off people. So he lost his job. Because he lost his job during the times when COVID were at its peak, as in the pandemic was at its peak, he did not know what to do. And companies were not recruiting because all the walk-in interviews were not happening. Companies were not calling candidates to their offices were not operational, the recruitment people were not sitting in their offices recruiting, all the recruitments were on hold. So what did he do? Okay, he took that opportunity, created a visual video resume and posted on LinkedIn, and he started tagging other people that he knew. He did not have a big following on LinkedIn. He tagged people like me and other friends who had a bigger following, and he asked us if we could help him forward this video CV of his to people we know or on our timelines so that more people can see. So what I can do is I can just show you his video resume and you'll get to know how you can probably use such opportunities to stand out. Okay, so let me just share my screen. Let me just open my Chrome and I'll take you to LinkedIn. Okay. So let me know if you can see my screen, guys. Maybe you can just type yes. I'll get to know that you can see my screen. Maybe you can just type that on chat. Okay. So yes, Akriti, Devansh, Hemchand, Rajat. Okay, you guys can see my screen. Sounds good. Okay. So this guy, Sahil, 6 months back. Okay. So you understand, 6 months back, COVID was at its peak. Okay. This guy says, hello, LinkedIn. I'm looking for a job opportunity to complement the unusual times today. Unusual times because you can't go to a company for recruitment. I thought of following an equally unusual way of reaching out. So here's my video resume. Since the job market is now tougher than ever, okay, because nobody was hiring at that point in time. People didn't know if COVID would result in companies being shut for years together or what would happen. Thankfully, we have survived to an extent and vaccines are being rolled out, but nobody knew at that point in time. If you are a recruiter or decision maker in your organization, this gives you a glimpse of my candidature. Do reach out if you have an opportunity. Okay. Okay. If not, I request you to please like and comment so that his video CV becomes more noticeable to others. And please share, okay, within the LinkedIn network. Okay, you could also WhatsApp the video resume YouTube link to your colleagues. Okay, he's requesting all of us. So let me just play the video CV for you. Let me know if you can hear the sound also of the video, because it may not happen that I'm playing the video and you can't hear the sound. So can you hear the sound? Maybe you can comment in the chat. Okay, sounds good. So let me just play this for everybody. Yeah. So, did you guys like it? Did you like the video CV that he prepared? In case you did, you could just let me know on the chat. Hemant is clapping hands. Muskan, Priyanka, Mayank, yes, it was great. Garima, this was amazing. You know, Vivek, yes. So, you know, very basic things. Khushi is saying definitely. Bhavna is saying yes. You know, everybody likes something like that. It reflects creativity. Okay. And that gives you an opportunity to stand out from the crowd. At that point in time, COVID, when everybody lost their jobs and people had no idea about the future, right? And companies had put a hold on their recruitment around that time, 6 months back, when it was at its peak. He kind of posted this at that point in time. You know what? A lot of people like me and others, we commented, we kind of forwarded, and to an extent, his video resume became viral, not to a very massive extent, but at least to an audience that cared about it. And he started getting jobs left, right, and center. When I say jobs, he started getting calls for interviews. Obviously, he converted a lot of them into jobs, and he got a lot of job offers from not just India, but across the world. Why? Because everybody saw an individual who was more upfront, honest, and represented himself at times when life was tough. Okay. And let me just now share his thank you message to everybody after his video resume went through a lot of places and he got the job. Okay. Okay. So on his profile, he's okay. He said a big thank you to everyone. Let me share the screen again. Okay. This is Sahil Batra again.
Hi, I'm the same guy from the video resume. Frankly, I've seen it so many times that I do not want to do all that again. Just kidding. Seriously, not doing it again. Okay. I just wanted to thank you guys for the way you responded to my video. I gave my first interview within 2 hours of posting the video. By the end of 2 days, I had my first offer letter. And by the end of 2 weeks, almost 45 companies had approached me for a job. And not just from India, from all over the globe. But people were saying that maybe I'm kind of stupid to be resigning in April, middle of the pandemic, you see. But I had faith in myself, as well as all of you around me. And voila, it totally worked. To be frank, I didn't have a celebrity network or something on LinkedIn. Maybe around 700 connects and some friends here and there. Some senior people were there, but no Elon Musk. But after this, some very senior people from the industry directly contacted me and offered to help me to connect with somebody in their network if I wanted, or to give me some guidance if I wanted, just like that, selflessly. You would know if I'm talking about you. Anyway, I just wanted to say that for whatever reason, if you're unemployed today, do not worry. Well, yes, Corona has killed a lot of people, but it was quite evident to me in the past few weeks that it has not been able to kill the goodness in people around us. So do not let it kill the faith in yourself. In fact, just think how you can stand out. The companies are frankly still very greedy for outliers. Good luck. Still ringing?
Right, so that's what happens when you kind of take the road less traveled, when you kind of take an approach which is out of the ordinary. And it's not that because I've known him for the last more than 10 years now. He was earlier part of my network, and then later on he joined my company. I can tell you that it's not that he was some sort of a video editor or anything, right? He didn't have any video editing skills. It's just that he approached some of his friends who knew how to create a video, and those friends helped him. So it's not that you need to be a video editor to create that kind of a video, right? You can have friends who are willing to help you out, specifically when you've lost your job and it's pandemic times. People would kind of help you out without expecting anything in return. And at the same time, he did not have a very big network. 700 friends on LinkedIn or connects is not too much. I have more than probably 17, 18,000, right? But then what happened is when he shared his CV with some people, a lot of people who have bigger networks, they started forwarding it. And hence he could get that kind of a virality and so many of these offers, right? Okay. So, yeah, so that's what I wanted to kind of bring out to you guys, right? I wanted to kind of tell you guys that please take the road less traveled. Please use things like video resumes, or for that matter, some approach which is slightly different, which helps you stand out. In fact, we were doing a career summit. There was a career summit organized by CareerGuide.com, and we had called some of those influencers across the world. So I don't know, probably some of you would have been very young at that point in time, but this guy who created hotmail.com, okay, I don't, anybody remembers hotmail.com? If you guys do, maybe you could just let me know. Yes. Oh, Nibha says yes. Hemant, Mayank, you guys, okay, remember Hotmail. So because you guys must have been pretty young, so it's amazing that you guys remember Hotmail. So Hotmail was the first email service in the world. Not technically the first, but the first cloud-based email service across the world. At that point in time, I'm talking about, I think 1998. Okay. 1998, this service was sold to Microsoft at $400 million. At that point in time, 400 million was like few billions of dollars, and the entire world was shocked. An Indian called Sabir Bhatia, he was obviously in the US, sold hotmail.com to Microsoft at $400 million at that point in time. So we were talking to Sabir Bhatia during this summit called the startup, the career summit by Career Guide. He mentioned that he's working on a new startup idea at this point in time, and that startup idea is he wants everybody to come on his platform and create video resumes there, so that they can send their video resumes specifically during these times when companies are not getting a chance to meet people physically, right? So that's the power of video resumes. That's the power of video CVs. So I'll not talk more about video resumes right now. We've already touched upon skills versus degrees. We have touched upon video resumes. I'll briefly talk a little about internships, and then I'll hand over to Surbhi, who would take you through internships and new age careers. And you can probably have some questions answered from Surbhi. Is there any question right now that you have in mind that's coming based on what we have discussed till now? If there are any questions, you can keep typing those questions in the chat. Surbhi can answer, Niba can answer, I can answer, right? But just touching upon internships, I would say, just like that guy Ishan in class 10th applied for an internship with us, there's no right time to apply for internships. Okay. And you don't have to wait for summer vacations or winter vacations to apply for internship. While you are in college, apply for live projects. Okay. Seek opportunities to work with companies on different projects so that you are even aware what kind of a job are you more suited for. What if you think that you're more suited for marketing, but after doing certain internships, you realize that probably marketing is not your thing. You're probably more suited for operations. You would not get to know all these things unless you apply to such opportunities and work while you are in the job. As in, while you're in the college, you're working with some companies in an internship, right? So these are things that you should be a little aware of. These are things that you should apply for. So Janki has asked this question: any tips to reach out to professors for research internships in a way that stands out? See, to be very honest, always look for recommendations. Okay. So this is a hack that I'm giving you. Okay. You're sending CVs, do send out CVs to normal email IDs that you can find on the websites. That's one. But a lot of people would be doing that. So best way to reach out to a professor, for example, is to find certain other professors from the same college on LinkedIn, send them connection request with a note to all of these professors. And even if one professor accepts your request, then send a message saying that you're looking to reach out to Professor XYZ, and if that person would help you connect. Okay. A recommendation, a referral, and a connection request from someone who's connected to both of us mutually stands out rather than just sending random cold emails. Okay. And that's a way to even reach out to some corporates. In fact, if within the company, suppose you want to reach out to HR manager at Pepsi for their Gurgaon office, maybe the HR manager at Pepsi doesn't accept your LinkedIn connection request. Okay, what you can do is you can send requests to other people working in the company, and once they have accepted your connection request, you can ask those people to connect you to the HR manager. In fact, most of the companies have referral schemes. If somebody from within the company, so my sister works with the Google in California, so if she refers somebody to the company and that person gets selected, then she gets few lakh rupees, right? So I am just saying that it's not that they'll do you a favor by recommending you. At times you are helping them by being that person that they can recommend to the HR, right? Because if you get selected, they get a lot of money in return as referral fee, right? So these are things that you can obviously use. Now I'll what I'll do is I'll invite Surbhi, and you can keep typing your questions, the questions that are there in your mind. I hope the session was useful. You understand the importance of video CV, the importance of skills, and the importance of internships, and how you can probably reach out to certain people like professors, and the use of platforms like LinkedIn. If it was useful, please you could let me know, or you could just type yes. If it was not that useful, you could let me know. Very informative and interesting session, Manav says. Thanks a lot, Manav. And we are around. What I'll do is I'll also share my LinkedIn profile, so you can connect to me, you can write to me. We'll be happy to reply to certain queries. And now over
Pranav,
to
can you give
Survi.
me host access back?
Yes, I'll just give host access to Survi, and over to Survi.
Interesting thing is that Janki sent me a LinkedIn invite while we were in midst of this webinar, and she sent me along with a message, "Hi, this is from Jaypee webinar." So I was able to spot. That's the way. That's proactiveness. Thanks, Pranav. Any questions? I would want. I'll take a pause. We are moving into last 30 minutes of webinar. I think we all can do digital hi-fi and not get bored, right? And pass on the energy. So question, at least one question. Okay, I think there was one question about Udemy edX programs. It's beneficial, it's good. Do mention that in your resume, those online programs. Don't worry if you bought it in 400 rupees, 500 rupees. It's not the cost of the program, but it's the skill which is picked up.
So,
Right.
so just one thing that I wanted to add to that. See, again to that question. See, if you're mentioning programs that you've done, even if you've watched a video on YouTube, it's fine, right? As long as it's a video program, video series, you can mention it. But please be sure that these are just conversation starters. So if you say that you've done a project management program, then please be ready to get some counter questions on that. And if you can answer that well, you have a good chance of getting selected. But if you can't answer it, then it's a problem for you, because then the interviewer would say that you mentioned this program but you don't know the basics, right? So what is more important is not whether you paid few lakh rupees and you did that program at a university that gave you a degree in a while you were doing the program in a classroom. What is more important is that you know much about that subject, right? So that is more important. Over to Subi.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. And I think there was a question about how do we get internships. Am I right? Was that the question which was asked? And in fact, Pranav has already mentioned how to get an internship. And it's like funny thing is that we keep saying that have some relevant experience to get that, like that Ishan Gupta's resume, or employers keep saying, "Hey, do you have?" When you go and say that I want to do digital marketing, or hey, I want to do ABC marketing, or I want to try this, then it becomes like, then recruiter will ask, do you have an experience? And you're like, oh my god, you're telling me to have an experience before I get an experience? Yes, that's more like cycle, right? It's a chicken and egg problem. And to resolve this problem, that's why you have projects and internships. Internships have more weightage than projects. Remember, don't do an internship by paying a company. That does not work. And don't do an internship. There are companies I know, there are organizations I know who will come and tell you that, hey, pay me 15,000, pay me 12,000, and I'll make you do a project. Okay, a live project. And again, they will make you sit inside a classroom like you are in a classroom, and they'll make you do. No, that's not internship. Internship is work in real time and with real people in the areas where you want to try, and rightly mentioned by Pranav that you need to understand what are the kind of jobs which you can do. There are quite a platform like Internshala, and there are many others where you can go ahead and apply for internship. And very important, it's always 1 is to 10, it's 10 is to 1, it's 1 is to 10 ratio. That means for every 10 application you apply, possibly one will reply. Yes, so that means apply to multiple ones and start talking to them. And yes, it's an effort. It does not come easy. It does not come easy. It's not like, you have just to pay a fees and they anyways will give you admission. No, it's not like that. You have to work towards it. You have to polish yourself towards it. You have to keep communication ready for towards it. And when you do this entire exercise, many times internship might be boring. We are not used to sit for 7 hours in a place where somebody is taking reporting from you. Internship would mean it will tell you whether you can answer to your manager, are you committed, are you disciplined, how an organization works, and lots of things. You have to be available to answer to them, you have to do a right job, and so many such things. I will recommend every single of you being here to do at least minimum two internship before you pass out from your college. Duration of your internship could be anything between 1 month to 6 months, but minimum two internship. This is very important. Take this a note. Once you are done with your internship, even you hate it, even you don't like it, you will realize you have very different perspective towards jobs, and you will be more employable towards jobs. So that's a very, very important thing. In fact, to all of you, in last 20 minutes, I want to share a checklist which is like follow that step by step, and I guarantee you, you will have your internships or jobs in hand. This is a checklist how you have to build a CV, when you have to do it, how to build your profile, how to prepare for interview, and then how to apply for jobs. So replace this job with internships, how many jobs in a day. Follow this checklist the way we have given day wise, send 50 LinkedIn requests, okay? uh, Practice in front of mirror 5 interview question. The name of interview question is given. Enroll in an online class, follow it like a checklist, and I promise you will have your dream internships and dream job in hand. So we'll share this checklist also with Sanjay sir, and he will forward it to all of you, right? I'll take up a pause. Question: did I answer your question? I had a question related to internship before. Did I answer that question, or it's still pending? I answered something else. Was it Hemant? You asked. All right, fantastic. I hope all of you have not slept. Okay, put your phone on because university will take attendance. I hope you have not done. Very important part is getting into extracurricular activities. If you are not part of your college extracurricular activity, possibly you are missing not only in college fun, but you also missing out a very important thing which recruiters both during internship and during job looks at. Nobody wants somebody who's just one-sided focus, not looking at anything around. People want individuals who understand world, who have leadership skills, who have communication skills, who can get along with team members, who can talk nicely, who have interests, right? So taking part in extracurricular activities inside your college is very important, very, very, very important. What are the kind of extracurricular activities you can do? Yes, uh, you can be part of clubs. Okay, tell me, what are the kind of activities JP has for all of you? What are the kind of activities JP has? uh, okay, Pragati has a question. Summer training and summer internships are same. Summer training can be called as summer internships, as long as you're doing in a real organization. You're not doing with again another company who's teaching you inside a class, right? How summer trainings helped in our resume and placement? So summer trainings is equivalent to summer internship. Again, I'll repeat, summer training should not be inside the classroom coaching. No, that's not called internship. So summer training, if it's inside a classroom, like teaching a course or learning a course, that comes under part of extra certification or extra course. But if a summer training is inside a company, right, then it is internship. And yes, it's helpful. So summer training, if it's like a classroom, then you can add it in a certification kind of a thing, workshop kind of a thing, training. kind of a thing, course, otherwise internship. So yeah, my question to all of you is what kind of extracurriculars you should be doing it. So उसके लिए आप मुझे बताइए जेपी के अंदर आपके कॉलेज के अंदर किस तरह की एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज होती है. Oh, there are various clubs and e-cells. Fantastic. Robotics, singing, debating, programming clubs. Fantastic. और कुछ है technical related? Business and economic clubs. Fantastic. Cultural fest, technical fest. कुछ होता है? कुछ कल्चरल फेस्ट होता है? Yes, technical fest, fantastic. So all of these are extracurriculars. Becoming part of cultural fest, tech clubs, business clubs, economic clubs. If you think you want to do business, and if you are not part of your e-cells, that's entrepreneurship cell, that's something wrong, right? If you want to have your own company someday, and if you have an extracurricular related to e-cell, that's positive. Let's say you have applied for digital marketing and your resume shows that you were digital marketing head of your tech fest or cultural fest or one of your clubs. That's wow. It's connection, right? Uh, Fantastic. So clubs, they are related to social agendas. If you say in your resume that you work with a social work organization, let's say, right? But if you are not aware about what social agenda dependent clubs and activities are in your college, then there's something misleading. Do you think really it's possible? It's like saying, hey, I like ice cream, but there's an ice cream kept in your kitchen and you're not going and eating it. Do I believe you like ice cream? I'll never ever believe that, right? Exact that ways. If you have clubs and activities, please go join them, try to contribute. Becoming group leaders, team leaders of these clubs activities are even seen very positive in your career progression. And even in case students listening to me and you have not taken any proactive step to become part of clubs and activities, and even this is not late, go reach out to them, see even during COVID times how you can contribute. Another disclaimer, these activities should happen every year. It should not happen that, okay, I did part in second year, that's good for my resume, now I won't do anything in third and fourth year. No, it does not count. You have to be part of it every year. Yes, there's a possibility you might say third year is my hectic year. So instead of contributing, let's say 100 hours in activities and extracurriculars, I'll contribute 60 hours, 50 hours. But there has to be contribution, right? Why? What you learn? You learn initiative, you learn responsibility, you learn accountability. Very important trait to be good human, responsible citizen, and an employable candidate. Yes, these are things which you learn. Initiative teaches you leadership skills, responsibility teaches you life skills, and accountability. All these soft skills you learn. Uh, extra courses. There was quite a lot of question around extra courses, which we talked about already. Yes, do online. We are very much supportive towards online. All these online platforms called MOOC, Udemy, edX, Khan Academy, YouTube course. But remember, it's not just enrollment and just click, forward, and done and took the certificate out. No, know what you have done. There could be any questions around it. There could be any task given to you around it. That should be done. Online versus offline, we have no issues. No recruiter has issue with any online programs. All right. Last 10 minutes for the workshop. And damn, this was so long. Was it? Was it so long? So long. Yes, it was long. Hemant says, yes, it was long. I know 3 hours is long, definitely. But I'm sure you heard so many of us So many interesting insight you had, right? So it's time for us to give 10 minutes to you. Samritika says, interesting though, fantastic, fantastic. Manav says, engaging even though a bit long. All right. Pragati says, it was interesting, fantastic, Pragati. All right. So, yes, can we pick up last set of few questions? Anything which is there in your mind? Last set of questions. There's a question. Utsaik has a question. Shall I refer to a person as sir, ma'am while messaging on LinkedIn or by name? Which one is preferred generally? Very, very interesting question. I would never expect a student sitting in college in third year, fourth year talking about this. Very interesting. Thanks. I usually don't address as sirs and ma'am. Even somebody who is in 50s or 60s or 30 years older. In teaching profession, it's mandatory to call sirs and ma'am, right? I request Nibha not to call me ma'am, but she doesn't listen, right? So it's just fine. It's just perfect. Whatever you feel comfortable with to set a rapport. Some people, generally, it's a legacy. It's more like Western companies. They don't prefer sirs and ma'ams. They don't like hierarchy. Whereas Indian organizations, bureaucratic government organization, they need sirs and ma'ams. So usually in all the MNCs, there'll be a clear cut. I remember when I was working with this semiconductor company, when we used to call sir ma'am in the first week, they used to say that, hey, you're not sitting in government office, right? Please do not call sir and ma'am. And maybe that practice I picked up on. But there are a lot of organizations where they expect you to call sir and ma'am. So you might look at where it is. A MNC will never expect you. A startup will never expect you to be calling sirs and ma'ams. But an old age government organization might expect you to call sirs and ma'ams. Pranav, what does CTC include? Fantastic.
Sure.
Do you want to take that?
Yeah.
What does CTC include?
So interesting question, Mayank. What does a CTC include? See, a CTC is cost to company, and every company has a different way to showcase their CTC package. So there are companies that have a very high CTC but a very low take-home salary, right? So what basically happens is you need to figure out what company you are dealing with. So there are companies that would in the CTC also include expenses that they are incurring on you with respect to your recreation, the food that they are sponsoring during their during your office stay. There are companies that would even in the CTC, they can even include the space that you're occupying within their company. So most of the companies generally don't do that. Okay. But there are companies internationally who would probably even talk about the space that you're utilizing in the office and even include that in your CTC package. So I'm just saying that there are no fixed rules. Okay. But what is important is when a company says that the CTC is probably this many lakhs, it is important for you to ask them precisely what's the take home, what's the basic, what's the HRA, what's the medical, what's how does it break up, right? So that you understand that this much you'll probably be getting in hand at the end of the month.
Add one point.
Sure.
CTC is many times variable component. Variable means which can vary, like bonus or your performance based things are also added. So many times when it's a higher CTC, variable component is also there, a big variable component, which you will get after a certain duration if you meet so and so or company meets so and so milestone. Yes, Pranav.
Some myths about CTCC, to be very honest, it might just look nice to say that your CTC is this much, but at the end of the day, what matters is what you're actually getting. And when I say what you're actually getting, it's not that if you're getting a fixed bonus at the end of the year, you should not count that. Definitely count that. That's something that you'll be getting. But things like if the company is incurring few lakhs on you because they are spending you, as in because they are sending you for travel, on excursions for recreation, probably that doesn't affect you as much. That's not money that you'll be able to take back at your home, right? So there are some companies that would give you stock options. There are some companies that would probably even give you shares as bonuses, right? That's real money as long as the company is publicly traded. So if you are applying for Google and Google
But
says that,
that's not immediate money, right?
sure. So depends, like stock options depends upon, they would put restrictions that after this many years you'll get this much stocks. There are companies on an annual basis, they'll give you bonuses in terms of stock. So depends, like do calculate and see all these things. But then at the end of the day, I would just say that don't just be fooled too much by pay packages. Okay. What is more relevant when you're starting your career directly from a college or your institution? What is more relevant is you find a job that you like, or which is true to your strengths, because you want to grow in your career 20 years hence. It's not important that you start with the best package. What there's a common problem which happens across campuses. Just to show to your peers that I'm better than you take up a package which is better than his CTC,
In
right?
fact, Pranav, I want to add here. So, for
Yes.
example, TCS um, starting package for a fresher techie is close to 3.2 across, right? That usually comes around 20 to 22,000 a TCS fresher gets, right? Now 22, and a startup which is offering you 20,000, it won't add variable and all, 20,000 in hand. That will look like multiply by 12, it will look like 2.4 CTC, right? But whereas TCS 3.6 is also 22,000 in hand. So this is a very important thing for you to check.
Sure, absolutely. And do these calculations, and just don't pick up a higher pay package because you can probably show off. Just choose something more relevant. I have known friends who have picked up packages of 18 lakhs only later to shift back to a package of 8 lakhs. They took a cut from 18 lakhs to 8 lakhs because probably they realized that that industry is not for them. They want to grow in a different field. So, in advertising, being a copywriting person in an advertising company would pay you very little. Okay.
Okay, so we have three
Versus, yes,
questions, three
yeah.
last questions. Sanjay sir, three last question we will pick. Okay, sir. So you are also on
Please
spotlight.
go ahead. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So Manav is asking, Nibha, feel free to pick, Pranav, feel free to speak. How does one explain change of sector to a recruiter? For example, doing a BTech in ECE and apply for a non-tech role.
Sure. I think that's very simple because, see, in life, you know, things don't always stay the same. Okay. The only constant in life is change. You can be very honest. You can say that I chose something because the information and the guidance available to me at that point in time suggested that this is what is the right thing for me. But as I was going through the program or whatever I was doing, I started exploring other things which seemed more interesting to me, and hence I decided to pursue those as compared to this. But then when you say that, have substantial reason, and at the same time show a lot of interest in the new thing and research that you've done before you decide to jump. Otherwise they'll perceive you as someone who doesn't stay stable and keeps jumping. Okay,
Right.
they'll think you as someone who does window shopping, and they'll probably think that you'll join their company and after a while decide that it's not for you and you'll jump, right? So
Right.
do some good research around it.
Right. And there's another question Shreya is asking. If you're asking for a referral or maybe asking a recruiter at a startup for available internship, How do we structure our message? Shreya, structure your message and send it to Nibha ma'am on LinkedIn, and she'll tell you what's the way to structure. Try it, because you don't have to be afraid whether you have structured it right or not. You will find, do a simple Google. Yeah, you will always find message, always find templates, and tweak it. All right, try doing this. Hemant says, should a fresher apply to roles opportunity offered by major companies that he or she does not find interesting? Basically, the dilemma between the brand name and the job description.
That's an
Oh,
amazing question, right?
yes. Do you want to take up?
Sure. You know, this is the most amazing question that has been asked this entire seminar, because see, often people get confused whether they should go for big brands, FMCG companies like Procter and Gamble, Unilever, or they should probably go in for a startup. I would say that always take up something where the learning opportunity is the most. Okay. At the same time, to understand what you're looking for in life, there are times when you want to grow in a very big organization from the bottom. It's okay to kind of go in for a role with a bigger company, but essentially it's about your learning experience. At times people take up uh, opportunities with smaller companies so that they can do a lot more in the smaller company and learn a lot more faster. In fact, I have seen people who have joined smaller companies grow more in their career, because in a smaller company, they don't have too many people. You get a lot more opportunities to learn. And once you have learned everything, then you can then join a bigger company at a much higher role. So a path between two people, A and B. A joins a bigger company, B joins a smaller company, B learns a lot in the smaller company and then joins a bigger company where A had joined above A, because he's already done so much, right? So I'm just saying that both paths are okay. If you want to start small and always remain in a bigger company, that's also good. Bigger companies allow you to look at systems and processes and understand how a bigger company works, whereas a smaller company
All
gives
right.
you more learning
The
opportunities. So
last
Sylvie, yes.
question. Sorry, Pranav, we are running out of time, and hence I have to cut you in between. Last question from Mayank. If we enjoy more than one profession, then can we make career in more than one domain?
To be very honest, it's more like when people say don't travel in two boats at the same time, right? So don't try and travel in two boats, otherwise you'll probably not do justice to both. But then there can be exceptional situations. I'll just give you an example of some creative careers. What happens is, suppose you are a cricket commentator like Harsha Bhogle, right? So now your career is offbeat. You don't know if you'll be able to make enough money. So what you do is you join a structured career and do this on the side during the weekends. When you realize that you are making enough money in the offbeat career and you can sustain yourself professionally in the offbeat career, then probably you can leave your structured job. But thinking that you are a good singer and you'll probably sing and make money, or probably you can do YouTubing and make a lot of money, and without having any experience, don't give up your structured job. I hope I've answered the question right.
Thank you. And more questions, feel free to reach out. In fact, on request of Sanjay sir, there is a career test available on Career Guide called Ideal Career Test, which each one of you can go take it, know about your interest, aptitude, personality, kind of careers which are available to you. And also you can get to talk to Nibha and Pranav at a 50% discount for only for Jaypee student. So all of it, no, in fact, 60% discount. All of it you can avail at 800 rupees as and when you want to do it. And we'll connect you to Nibha or Pranav for the session, including the test. Whenever you want to do it, call our customer support. Let them know that you attended Jaypee webinar, you are from Jaypee University, and you will have access to these just at 800 rupees. That's the wrap of the session. I know we have missed one or two questions, but what can we do? We have some certain timelines given by Sanjay sir, so we have to stick to those timelines. But yes, write to your questions to us. We'll be more than happy to address to all of you. And any of you, by this time, what I noticed, sir, students were not opening up in first 1 hour, and after towards the end, the questions are not stopping. That's wow. That's fantastic. That's the energy we all pass to each other. That's beautiful. And remember, your questions will not cease ever. Only thing which will happen is your questions will start becoming smarter with time, right? Smarter questions will start coming in your mind, and we are there to answer to all of you. Right, Sanjay sir? And
Yeah, can I take a minute, please?
yes, sir, please, sir.
Surbi, thank you very much. In fact, exactly what I was looking at. You people have addressed all those issues. And I will also like to thank Dibhaji and Pranav, Mr. Pranav. You people are, have, stolen the thunder from everybody. And, everybody got so much involved in this, presentation and workshop of yours. And on behalf of Jaypee universities and the students who participated, I convey my appreciation and thanks to all of you. And I think this now I am going to make it this issue a annual issue, and we will certainly like to conduct this event every year. And a word of advice for the students, in case you have any special queries, and we have a tie-up with Surbi. You have the email of Surbi. You can get in touch with her, and she will guide you how to go about this test and the various events. Normally they charge 1999, but for us they have reduced it to 800. It's all optional. It is between you and Surbi. Institution is not in between, but to bring anything to a logical end is very, very important. So from that point of view, I leave this option with the students, and they will surely get in touch with you, Surbi and Nirbhaya and
Sure.
Pranav, in case they have any issues. Okay. Thank you very much, and have a
Thank you,
great
sir,
day. Thank you.
Tanvitan, for this opportunity.
Thank you.
You can
Thank you.
share the video link. You can forward to other students too.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank
All
you.
right.
Wonderful.
Bye, everybody. Have a great, great day.
Thank you very much.